Hello and welcome to NewFilmmakers Los Angeles. My name is Danny De Lillo and we're here at the South Park Center. I'm here with Jared with his movie, Troubled Times. Let's take a look at the clip.
Stand up just for a moment, right? Stand up.
Oh, come on, leave me alone.
Come on.
What are you doing?
Dancing. Just try.
Jared, thank you for being here. Thank you for your film and thank you for flying in from New York to be with us.
Thank you for having me here.
Your film was amazing. And
that.
for those that haven't seen it, tell a brief synopsis.
The movie takes place during 1982, during a very tough period in Ireland, when there was a lot of fighting going on between Northern Islanders and immigrating Britons that were over. But mainly it's about a young Irish Catholic boy spending the day with an English Protestant girl and what happens between them in one day.
It's amazing. And I, for someone that has, grown up knowing that in my history and in our class, in my classes at school, it was so wonderfully refreshing to find out an American had made this film that was so Northern Irish. Like it was incredible. How did it come about for you to create this project?
To be honest, I went on a Euro trip, my first Euro trip ever, like 5 years ago when I was like 25. And the first place that I stopped was in Ireland. And I had never been to any foreign country before.
Wow.
And I immediately fell in love with the place.
Yeah.
It was refreshing, it was inviting, it was open, it was fun, it was lively. Everything about it really, I don't know if it was just being away from home in a different place, but something about it just really captured like my heart. And every single time that I've traveled, I've made a point to start back there. And on the third time that I went, I was like, you know what, I would love to make a film here. And I started doing like research about what was Ireland's like culture, what brought about this divide between Ireland and Northern Ireland being a part of the UK. I wanted to learn as much as I could. And then honestly, the story just came to me from hearing about the true stories that went on during this time for hundreds of years. And I'm a romantic guy at heart, so I wanted to try and tackle something that had like a bit of romanticism in it, but dealing with serious subject matter as well.
Yeah, I was just captivated because this was such a time. Firstly, there's not enough films that we see from Northern Ireland. There's not enough films that actually show just how difficult it was, particularly for people in Northern Ireland, to go through these experiences and how much hostility there was between that was just so uncalled for, but was going on during this time, and people didn't ask for it, but it was happening. It was part of the society at that time. You captured the 1980s so well, and it's centered around this wonderful young teenage couple and who were wonderfully acted. How did you bring your cast together?
Well, the cast, I went over after working with a casting agency for the first time. Their name was Ali Casting in Ireland. They do a lot of casting for like Irish films, commercials, TV shows, you name it. And but the lead actor, who's played by a wonderful actor, his name is Ferdia Walsh-Pilo. I had seen him in a Weinstein Company movie.
We can say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the movie was called Sing Street. It's a wonderful movie. It came out about 4 years ago when Ferdia was like 15 years old. He's now 19, and he really grew into I don't know what you want to. He's got a Hollywood look to him now.
Yeah.
But I had always had my eyes set on this kid because I thought he was extremely good in Sing Street.
Yeah.
But I just went over and I just sent the script to his agents and I said, hey, I'm trying to do this. It took a bit of process because they didn't read it for the longest time.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, just read the script, please. Just read it for me. If you don't like it, it'll take you 5 minutes to read.
Yeah.
They read it. They sent it to him. He immediately got back to me within an hour. And then we set up a meeting and he was in. I couldn't be happier with him and with Hazel.
Yeah.
The chemistry between them was so natural, it was so effortless.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of short films, and I've never had anything chemistry like that.
It was unreal. Like, it was so, and it was such a coming of age and going through, like, you know, they both had dreams and goals and things they wanted to do and accomplish in their life and everything else. And I think, I mean, to capture the environment as well, like, what sort of techniques or things you have to do to kind of create that kind of 80s feel? Because it's hard when you're trying to have to do that on top of being in a different country as well, you know?
Well, luckily, Ireland has a lot of places that have a very vintage look. Once you get outside of Dublin,
Yeah.
there are so many places that have that look and feel from like the 1960s.
Yeah.
There's a lot of places that just haven't been, I guess, I don't know if gentrified is the right word to use. Or even for over there, but there's such a good look and such a good feel over there. I remember the first day that I stepped foot in Ireland, and I looked down at the street and I saw these cobbled streets that would just go on for, you know, as far as you could see, and I was like, wow, just something as small as the cobbled streets to me was something that I just didn't experience growing up in Virginia or living in New York. Pavement everywhere.
We love our cobbled streets, my goodness me. Always tripping over them. Well, I mean, there's not very often in short films that you see, I don't want to give anything away, but obviously, you know, this was during the time of you know, when there was a war going on, but you actually captured some explosive, you know, moments, footage where there were explosions going off, like very real to the times. How was that for you as a director to kind of create that? Because I'm curious about how that process was for you.
I thought that was going to be one of the hardest things. Turned out to be the most easiest day on the shoot.
Really?
We finished this day in 7 hours or less.
Wow.
And there was a lot going on in there because there's a confrontation between the lead actor and his brother. There were ramifications of what happens after this explosion. Then the actual explosion. We finished this in a very short day. It was very calm, cool, and collected. There was no problems. There was a little weird. There was paparazzi there. I mean, Ferdy has got like a fan base. Like a serious dedicated fan base after Sing Street. But no, honestly, I met with some great special effects artists. I mean, and they put this all together on the budget that I had.
It's amazing. I mean, and because obviously going over there, I mean, I think it's such a wonderful thing. You went over there by yourself just to kind of capture what you wanted to get. Did you have a combination of team from the States and team from Ireland, or how did it work for you in that respect?
I had to go over there and hire everybody new. I mean, as in none of the people that I worked with on this film, besides one person, makeup artist by the name of Danielle Gherkins, who came over at the last minute because I wasn't able to secure a makeup artist in Ireland. But everybody else besides the makeup artist was people that I had never worked with before.
Wow.
And so there was like a bit of rebuilding trust, not rebuilding, but building trust with these people that I hadn't worked with. And I'm a very diligent worker, and I mean, I'm pulling like 5 different hats on this film, that I needed to make sure that the people that were coming on board were, one, professional, talented, and, you know, accurate, and knew what I was trying to bring to the table, and I needed them to understand that I expected the same thing from them. That me being an American and me tackling something that first off isn't my history, I wanted to be the utmost respectful about it. So I needed people that were going to be able to bring that kind of energy as well. Because I can't tell you, you ever watch something where someone else has made about a topic that they know nothing about and just threw it away or just was completely disrespectful about it? I wasn't trying to be like that.
No, oh my goodness, I thought it was a wonderful to discover that, you know, it was someone American that created this project. I think it was really great because you obviously felt up something from Ireland when you first went there to experience, and you fell in love with the country and the people, and so I think it's great you made a project there as well. It was such a wonderful experience having you at NewFilmmakers Los Angeles and having an audience to experience your film. What did you kind of want your audience to take from your film?
One of the things, I guess, is when you watch the film and it's, you know, specifically, you know, an Northern Irish film, is that a person like me made this film. A person that looks like me, that lives in Brooklyn, you know, that has, you know, just not the kind of thing, the image that you would expect associated with this type of film. For me, I know that there's a lot of filmmakers, Caucasian, that get to make a lot of period pieces about a lot of different things. There aren't many of people of color that get to make period pieces, especially about a different culture.
And there should be.
There should be. I mean, there should be more people that, you know, that are talented, that are taking the time to learn about something and
Yeah.
are able to bring that to life. If you really are able to capture something and have that kind of eye for it, I feel like
Right.
you should be given the shot.
Of course, yeah. And I think that in itself was just such a wonderful experience to discover that you've made this film. So I think it's very inspirational to sort of realize you haven't got, it doesn't matter where you're from, what you are, like, you know, you can, if you're captured by a place or a society or a different country or an environment or a community, you can make a film, you know. And I love that you generated a whole new community of team that you met over in Ireland, and they became, you know, part of this wonderful project that you made.
It was insane. I mean, just how by the third day, it was feeling like a family. It was a 6-day shoot. It was one of the easiest shoots that I've ever been on. This is like, I think, my 6th or 7th short. And this was the shortest turnaround time of any short that I've ever made. And when I mean turnaround, I mean as in like when we started and when we finished. Yeah. It was, the whole film was complete within like 2 months.
Love it.
And I mean, I had a lot of big help, and we took our time, and it was the first time that I've ever been able to sit down and work on this every single day. Yeah. And I'm talking about once the film was finished filming. Yeah. And going into film production, coming out here to LA to do post on this.
No, I'm so glad that you made it. And what is there I mean, in the films that you've made and the experience you've had and all these different things, is there a piece of advice you would share to any other aspiring filmmakers that you go by in your daily life as a filmmaker?
Know what you want, big time. Is probably the first thing as a director that I would recommend to any other person. Know what you want, know what you're trying to tell. I've worked on a lot of big sets. I worked as an assistant on film sets in New York City. I've been working for about 8 years on many big projects. And I've worked with a lot of directors that are getting their shot on TV shows, on movies, maybe their first time, maybe their second time, maybe their third time. Or maybe they've been on a TV show and they've passed around, and there's a lot of people that don't know what they want. They waste a lot of time, a lot of money. One of the things that you're afforded when you're on these big things is that you have time. But more time is wasted when people are just like, I don't know what we're doing or what it is that we're looking for or what I'm looking for in this. And it's all right to have that for one scene, but when you have 5 scenes and you don't know what it is that you're trying to get across or what it is that you're adapting for the screen, that puts everybody that's behind you, underneath you, in a rut where they're looking at you as the leader. Yeah. And it's like, it's a big waste of time. It's such a delay, and it's for morale, because your crew members talk about you. Yeah. One thing. The second thing is have thick skin. Going back to, people are going to talk about you, your project. They're looking up to you, and if you don't know what it is that you're trying to get across, people are going to remember that.
So what's next for you, Jared?
I'm in development of 2 projects, hopefully one short that I'll be doing the middle of this summer, and hopefully a feature that I'm hoping to gear up to do by the end of this year, or possibly the beginning of next year, all depending on financing. Fantastic. It's a road trip movie in the vein of like Alfonso Cuarón's Y Tu Mamá También.
Love that movie.
So it's another passion piece of mine. It's something that it's about some young people and the how these 3 people come together and what it is within their lives, and how they come together, how the world views them, how they view the world as they go on this very adventurous road trip.
Amazing. Well, I love your style of filmmaking. I love how you really get in there with subjects and you really take us on this wonderful journey of relationship and what we care about and the things that are most important to us. And I got so much from Troubled Times. I'm looking forward to seeing your next project. So just keep making them for us, Jared.
Thank you.
So I appreciate it. Jared, everybody, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me here.